Hi, greetings from the rainy coast of southwest Norway. Um, this is Tormod talking about schizophrenia, my life, my experience, and you know, schizophrenia has long been a riddle, a question, a not, a nut, you might say, where little have been certain about this illness. The scholars and the doctors and the psychiatrists have not had a, what shall I say, a easy way of describing it. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2003. Back then, I was not given a really clear definition to what is my schizophrenia. There was no doctor that could tell me what is schizophrenia. Years later, when I committed to Desteni, committed to walk my forgiveness process, committed to walk my mind process, to start to work consistently and deliberately and disciplined through my mind with forgiveness, with self-forgiveness. I was to learn from equaf.com that schizophrenia is a war in the head. Okay? Schizophrenia is a war in the mind, in the head, where there are different personalities within the self, within the mind, that are fighting, that are having a war, a conspiracy, a paranoia, a anger, a obsession, a drama, a trauma, a war in the head. Different personalities that are fighting to be in the dominant position over the body, over the physical, over the being. So basically, the mind of the schizophrenic is often multiple. There may be several different mind. You might have a separate, a extra mind to for the creation and the living of personalities. I'll repeat that. You might have. I was living with an extra mind box system to live personalities. Now, personalities is for the schizophrenic very structured, what shall I say, hardwired, very almost physical constructs. Meaning, typically for children, personalities are more like water, fluid. Personalities are to the sane, the children, more like water. You adjust to a situation like water in a stream. Okay. I will say that one more time because it's very important to understand some of this. For children and for sane people, or for people without a personality disorder, which are not very many people, personalities move like water, like a stream. You adjust to a new environment, new settings, new people, new situations. For me, the schizophrenic, personalities are very set, very firm, and in war with each other. So basically, I would just list now a few of the personalities that I have had, just to give you an idea of where I'm coming from. So basically, I would have one type of personality when I talk to my dad in the living room in the old house where I grew up. that setting, my dad being there and me communicating with my dad, that is one type of personality that I would then live in that moment, in that situation. Okay. Another and totally different personality would be me talking to a little girl in the kindergarten. I would be talking to a little girl in the kindergarten, and I would have a totally different personality that I would live. And at the supermarket with the lady in the cashier standing there and paying for my groceries, I would have a third and also very different personality in that situation. And instead of having very fluid, flowing, flexible, moving way of having this instead of having this flow, this natural water to my personalities, they would be very strict, very firm, very energetic, very static, very structured, and very rigid, you might say, and very frictionate. They would cause friction very easy because they would be so hardwired, so compressed, so full of substance and programs, basically. So basically, my schizophrenia have been multiple minds where within these minds there is a war going on within my minds, within my being. A war against self, a war against personalities. This war would cause voice in the head, backshots, nasty conversations, words in my head that I don't want to have in my head, right? Words and soundings and pictures and movies in my head that I don't want in my head. There would be like my speak would be blubberish. I would speak about nonsense because I would be so full of paranoia and conspiracies and fear and anger and depression because of my war against myself. And that is what I would live with schizophrenia. So, as you can see, for me, having investigated my schizophrenia very detailed and meticulous, it's a serious illness of mind. And, I come to find that all human beings, all adults, are more or less mentally ill. I mean, we are all mad, you might say, to put a more milder gesture to it. We are all mad in our own unique ways. We all have our thing. There are no people that are normal. I'm sorry, they don't exist, okay? There are no people that are only sane, only normal, only cool. They don't exist, okay? All human beings, all adults have more or less mental illness, or we might say madness. We all have our things, we all have our illnesses or madness. So, coming to an understanding of my schizophrenia has been a very release and relief for me to understand where I'm coming from, to understand how can I support myself, how can I forgive in detail the compressed and compartmentalized personalities of mine? How can I forgive myself for playing out these personalities? How can I learn to understand all my personalities so that they don't play a role in my life like they had? With friction, with pain, with war, with voice in the head, with nasty thinking. How can I avoid that? And I learned that from walking my Desteni process, forgiving my mind in great detail. I'm still working on it, and to set free all these conspiracies and thought conspiracies and beliefs and personalities about life, about my existence, about schizophrenia, politics, and so on, so that I can say that, okay, I understand now. I understand that there are no sane people like that. We are all mad, more or less, and we all have our thing. So, there are no excuses today, because we have all the solution. And I say this with great certainty, because I know that, like with mental illness, we have, and you have, and I have the opportunity to start today to work with self-forgiveness. Okay? We know from psychiatry that we can have support and backup and assistance, but the help, the love, the forgiveness, the embracing must come from within the patient, him or herself. I will say that one more time. The spirit, the forgiveness, the love must come from within the self, or there will be no healing. And forgiveness is the key element here, to forgive the self. I will leave some links specifically to Desteni processes. You can walk and forgive the self and release some conspiracies within the self, and move more like water, I would guess. Move more like flow through life, and make and end the war in the mind, end the war of personalities in the head, and stop the voice in the head, stop the nasty thinking, and start to find solutions to life's detours and atrocities, so that we can stand as living examples for a better world, a world of oneness and equality, of a sane and safe new economy for the world, where we can be together, all as one. The utopian ideas again and again, and because we can. But we can't just start this. We can't just start with equal money tomorrow. We have to work to make sure that we are ready for that, and remove the conscious ego from the control domain, and make sure that we are not run by our conscious ego mind, but that we are run by our beingness, by our physicality, by sanity, to learn to understand our minds, our beingness, and how the mind, the being, and the body is connected, and how that works together. Because we have to start somewhere to make this place into a good life for all, and the best way to do that is to start with self. And that is why we at Desteni are here, to start with the self. So yeah, please check out the links. If you have questions for me about schizophrenia, about self-forgiveness, about mental illness, about self-forgiveness, about Desteni, please ask me questions about my process. I will be glad to ask you. If you are shy, you can make a private mail me in my inbox on Facebook or elsewhere. come in contact with me. Check out the links, use the links. They are very, very precious. And give some time to test out self-forgiveness for yourself, to see how you can have a better given reality with the help from within the self, from self-forgiveness. Thank you, and enjoy the breath.